I got sent home early yesterday. I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully. This shit isn't funny. She needs to understand that just because she's a mother and got children doesn't mean that she can come in this store, disrespecting people, talking to them like everybody's beneath her. She has no respect. And it isn't funny at all. Like, seriously, man, I got shit I gotta take care of. And she keeps sending me home early. It's not funny. She's playing games.
On the morning of July 7th, 2025, inside a McDonald's located on Gresham Avenue in East Point, Michigan, the routine flow of breakfast orders and employee shifts was violently interrupted. At approximately 7:45 a.m., surveillance footage captured a hooded figure entering the store. Moments later, the store manager, 39-year-old Jennifer Harris, was found on the floor unresponsive, suffering from multiple stab wounds to the upper body. The suspect didn't flee far. According to East Point police, the attacker, later identified as 26-year-old employee Afeni Badu Muhammad, was held at gunpoint by an armed customer until law enforcement arrived. Authorities later confirmed Harris had been stabbed more than 15 times. The motive, they said, appeared to stem from a workplace dispute, but the level of violence and the planning suggested something more deliberate. Afeni Muhammad was taken into custody on-site and has since been charged with first-degree premeditated murder, among other felonies.
The McDonald's employee accused of stabbing and killing her manager was arraigned on first-degree murder charges this afternoon in East Point.
Police say the suspect was sent home from work after an argument. Then she returned with a knife and a mask.
Tell us about your sweet mom.
My mama was a good person. She was the best mom anybody could ever ask for. My mama, she woke up every day and went to work for us. My mama died trying to take care of us. She died.
My God.
She was so good to everybody. A hard-working woman. So kind. If anybody needed help, she would give you her last. Give you the shirt off her back. She did not deserve that at all.
How many kids does your mom?
6. All 6 of us. Me and my
5 girls
siblings.
and 1 boy.
My brother.
And she's aware that she took us from her.
We met everybody at McDonald's. My mama always shared with everybody that she loved her kids, showed them pictures of us. We would come up here. We met her co-workers. We met the lady and everything. I don't understand why she had to kill her. It was not fair. My mama didn't deserve that. My mama was even good to her. She was good to everybody. Everybody. I hate that she had to die alone in there. I hate that she had woke up trying to make money for me and my siblings and had to pass away just trying to work for us. It's not fair. It's not fair.
And you run from taking this woman away from her children, my sister. That is just sad.
You met us. You
met
saw
all her
all of
children.
us in there playing in there. You gave us stickers. You came and introduced yourself to us. Why take our mama from us? You knew we loved each other. You knew she was all that we had. No.
How old was your mom, if I could ask?
She was 39.
So she's young. Very young.
Single mother.
Single. Our dad is incarcerated. So now we only got our aunties and my pastor. My mama is gone.
She is currently held on a $25 million bond. Prosecutors allege that Muhammad left the restaurant after a confrontation, changed clothes, armed herself with a concealed weapon, and returned to carry out the fatal attack. What happened between a manager and her employee that led to one of the most shocking workplace murders in Michigan this year? Was this a sudden act of rage, or a premeditated execution disguised under a hooded sweatshirt? This is not just a story about a stabbing. It's a layered timeline of ignored warning signs, unchecked personal tensions, and a failure to intervene before the final act played out in front of witnesses. In this investigation, we break down the facts, review official documents, and retrace every minute that led to the murder of Jennifer Harris. an event that turned an everyday workplace into a crime scene. Jennifer Harris was a 39-year-old woman who had worked at the McDonald's restaurant in East Point, Michigan, for nearly a decade. Born and raised in the Detroit metropolitan area, she lived a relatively quiet life centered around work, family, and community. Public records indicate she had no criminal history, and interviews from friends and coworkers suggest she was highly organized, punctual, and known for her work ethic. Jennifer started at McDonald's as a line crew member and gradually earned promotions through years of consistent performance. She took on various responsibilities, including inventory oversight, shift scheduling, and eventually management. Her reputation inside the store was that of a no-nonsense supervisor who upheld company policies strictly but treated hard-working employees fairly. Multiple co-workers reported that Jennifer regularly stayed late to ensure staffing shortages were covered and often took the lead during busy hours without complaint. Her relationship with employees was largely professional. However, reports indicate that she had disciplined several staff members over time, including the accused, Afeni Badu Muhammad. There were no formal complaints filed against her within the McDonald's HR system or local labor commission records. Afeni Badu Muhammad is a 26-year-old former employee at the East Point McDonald's. She had been working at the restaurant for less than a year prior to the stabbing incident. Public records do not show a prior criminal record. According to those familiar with the case, she had recently moved into the area and sought the McDonald's job as part of a financial restart. Afeni's upbringing and background remain under investigation. Initial reports suggest she was born in Michigan, but moved between various residences during her early 20s. No family members have publicly commented on her mental or emotional well-being. However, one former acquaintance who spoke anonymously to local press described her as quiet and not social. There is currently no confirmed diagnosis of mental illness on public record, but the court may request a psychological evaluation as part of her defense process. Law enforcement has not disclosed whether she was undergoing therapy, taking medication, or had documented behavioral issues prior to the attack. Afeni's employment history with McDonald's began in late 2024. She was hired as part of a hiring drive and was placed on late and weekend shifts. Internal personnel files show at least one written warning issued to her in early 2025 for tardiness and another for insubordination involving a supervisor, believed to be Jennifer Harris. Her social media accounts, which were made private shortly after the incident, showed minimal activity. However, archived posts obtained by investigators allegedly contain vague statements referencing being disrespected at work and not being seen. None of these posts contain direct threats, but investigators have flagged them for context. As of now, the working theory behind the motive includes a combination of workplace stress, unresolved personal grievances, and perceived mistreatment by management. No evidence of financial extortion, romantic entanglement, or external coercion has been reported. Afeni and Jennifer had a typical supervisor-subordinate relationship. No personal friendship or outside-of-work connection has been reported. According to other employees, Afeni often kept to herself and didn't engage much with other team members, including Jennifer. However, multiple staff members recall Afeni being reprimanded on several occasions for phone use, failing to follow shift instructions, and being late. Jennifer, as shift manager, was responsible for documenting those violations. Several co-workers stated there was visible tension between the two, particularly in the weeks leading up to the incident. One employee told police that Afeni once muttered something under her breath after being corrected by Jennifer, but it was not taken seriously at the time. Witnesses also reported that during their final interaction, on the morning of the murder, there had been a verbal altercation over scheduling or duties. While Jennifer's response was described as calm and administrative, Afeni appeared visibly agitated and was asked to step away. There were no formal reports of threats, violence, or HR intervention beyond standard workplace write-ups. No favoritism or targeting by Jennifer has been confirmed by McDonald's or by witnesses interviewed thus far. Afeni Muhammad arrived at the McDonald's for her shift early in the morning of July 7, 2025. Security logs show her badge was scanned around 8:05 a.m. At approximately 8:45 a.m., according to police, she engaged in a heated discussion with Jennifer Harris about a scheduling dispute. Afeni reportedly left the restaurant shortly after, around 9 a.m. Surveillance footage shows her returning less than 30 minutes later, wearing a hooded garment and face covering, concealing a knife. According to police records and witness statements, she walked behind the counter and immediately attacked Harris, stabbing her repeatedly in the chest and neck area. The attack lasted approximately 45 seconds before a customer, who was legally armed, intervened. The bystander drew a firearm and held Afeni at gunpoint while instructing staff to call 911. Police arrived on the scene within 4 minutes and placed Afeni under arrest without further resistance. Initial responders pronounced Jennifer Harris dead at the scene.
And now we head over to breaking news, where we're learning the identity of the McDonald's employee who's accused of stabbing her manager to death on Thursday. In the last 30 minutes, we've obtained this booking photo for Afeni Muhammad. Now, she's expected to be officially arraigned in the next hour. Local 4's Lauren Kostick is live outside the courthouse where the arraignment is set to happen. Good afternoon, Lauren.
That's right, Jay. We're outside the 38th District Court here in East Point. And like I said, this is where that suspect will be arraigned on first-degree murder charges. We are told that is scheduled to start at 1 p.m. here, and the suspect will appear over Zoom from the Macomb County Jail. And like you said, we have now confirmed within the last few minutes the suspect's name. We are told her name is Afeni Muhammad. Police say a manager at the McDonald's on 9 Mile told Muhammad to go home early yesterday morning. She then allegedly left and then came back with a knife. Witnesses say a customer fired a shot to stop the attack and then held Muhammad at gunpoint until police could arrive. And family of the victim yesterday identified the manager as 39-year-old Jennifer Harris, a single mom of 6 that will be deeply missed. And again, we are expecting that suspect to be arraigned here on first-degree murder charges. We will be inside the courtroom and bring you the latest of what happened tonight at 5. For now, live in East Point, Lauren Kostick, Local 4.
The restaurant was immediately shut down, and crime scene tape secured the perimeter. Security footage from the restaurant captured both the pre-incident interaction and the stabbing. Police reviewed multiple camera angles, showing Afeni's return with a mask and the weapon. There is no audio recording of the confrontation itself, but multiple witnesses confirmed the attack was silent and swift. The knife used in the murder was recovered on site. It was a 6-inch kitchen knife with no serial number, believed to have been taken from Afeni's residence. Forensic testing confirmed Jennifer's blood on the blade and handle. Jennifer Harris's autopsy confirmed 15 stab wounds, including 2 fatal strikes to the heart and major arteries. No drugs or alcohol were found in her system. Defensive wounds on her hands suggest she attempted to resist. Afeni's clothing was collected as evidence. Her phone was confiscated upon arrest and sent for forensic examination. Police are analyzing messages, call logs, browser activity, and potential voice memos for insight into her intent or emotional state prior to the incident. At this time, no digital manifesto or warning message has been found. Afeni Badu Muhammad was arrested at the scene on July 7, 2025, in East Point, Michigan, minutes after allegedly stabbing Jennifer Harris. Law enforcement arrived at the McDonald's on Gresham Avenue after multiple 911 calls were placed around 8:20 a.m. According to official reports, a legally armed customer had detained Muhammad at gunpoint following the attack. She was disarmed, handcuffed, and transported to the East Point Police Department without resistance. Upon arrival at the station, Muhammad underwent standard booking procedures. Her mugshot was taken, fingerprints recorded, and a detailed arrest report was filed. Initial charges listed at booking included first-degree murder and possession of a weapon. During interrogation, which occurred within hours of her arrest, Afeni Muhammad declined to speak without an attorney present. Investigators noted that she showed no signs of physical distress, but did not cooperate. She neither confirmed nor denied involvement in the attack. Officers present during the interrogation stated she maintained silence after invoking her rights. No confession was obtained. Legal counsel was provided to Muhammad by a court-appointed defense attorney. Her attorney has not made public statements on the details of her defense, citing ongoing legal strategy and protection of client rights. Following her arrest, the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office officially filed 3 primary charges against Afeni Badu Muhammad. First-degree premeditated murder. This charge indicates that authorities believe the act was intentional and planned in advance. Prosecutors cite security footage showing Muhammad leaving the restaurant, returning in a hooded disguise, and initiating a targeted, repeated stabbing as evidence of premeditation. Felony murder. This charge applies due to the fact that the murder occurred during the commission of another felony, namely assault with a deadly weapon, carrying a concealed weapon. Police determined Muhammad entered the McDonald's with a knife hidden beneath her clothing, supporting this weapons violation. During the initial press conference, Macomb County Prosecutor Peter Lucido stated the evidence clearly supports a case of premeditated, deliberate murder. He added that the prosecution would pursue the harshest penalties allowable under Michigan law. At this stage, the defense strategy has not been disclosed. Public records do not yet indicate whether Muhammad will plead not guilty, claim insanity, or negotiate a plea deal. The court has placed a gag order on all involved parties, limiting pretrial commentary. Afeni Muhammad was formally arraigned on July 8, 2025, before a 38th District Court judge in East Point. She appeared in a yellow jail-issued jumpsuit and remained silent throughout the hearing. Her attorney entered a standard not guilty plea on her behalf. The judge set bond at $25 million cash only, citing the severity of the charges, the violent nature of the attack, and the flight risk involved. The court also ordered that Muhammad have no contact with the victim's family or any witnesses. She remains in custody at the Macomb County Jail. The case has been assigned the following dates. Probable cause conference, July 22, 2025. Preliminary examination, July 29, 2025. Trial start, tentative late Q4 2025, depending on motions and discovery proceedings. Key legal motions filed by the prosecution include a motion to allow surveillance footage and crime scene photographs to be admitted as primary evidence. The defense has filed for limited discovery, but no motion to suppress evidence has yet been made. As of now, the case is being prosecuted under state law in Michigan. There is no indication of federal charges, as the incident did not cross state lines, involve federal property, or violate federal statutes. According to sources familiar with the investigation, the court has not yet ordered a formal mental health evaluation, but the defense may pursue one ahead of the preliminary exam. No official diagnosis or psychological report has been filed publicly. Muhammad has no documented history of psychiatric hospitalization or care, according to court disclosures and preliminary background checks. However, former acquaintances have surfaced on social media alleging that Muhammad had experienced emotional instability and conflict at previous workplaces. Online platforms have generated widespread speculation about her mental state. Some users on TikTok and Reddit have claimed Muhammad displayed erratic behavior leading up to the incident. Others suggested possible motives rooted in workplace bullying, although these claims remain unverified and are not part of the prosecution's public narrative. Several conspiracy theories have emerged, including allegations of ritualism, trauma, or retaliation, none of which are supported by police reports. Fact-checking outlets have debunked multiple viral videos exaggerating or misrepresenting the incident. Official police statements continue to refute any additional suspects or motivations outside of personal conflict. The family of Jennifer Harris issued a statement via their legal representative 2 days after the murder. In the statement, they describe her as a strong, resilient, and loving woman who gave her life to helping others succeed. They have requested privacy during the legal proceedings and have declined further interviews. A candlelight vigil was held outside the East Point McDonald's on the evening of July 10, 2025. Over 300 people attended, including members of Harris's family, former co-workers, community activists, and local clergy. Flowers, signs, and messages were left near the drive-thru entrance. The location remained closed until July 13th for crime scene cleaning and crisis response support. McDonald's corporate issued a formal statement, expressing condolences to the Harris family and condemning the violence. The company confirmed that Afeni Muhammad was a part-time employee at the location and that they are cooperating fully with law enforcement. Crisis counselors were made available for all staff members at the restaurant. In East Point, the murder has raised questions about workplace safety, especially in fast food environments. Activists and union leaders have begun calling for new policies regarding background checks, mental health screening, and emergency preparedness training in franchise-based businesses. Employees at the East Point location reported feeling shaken and requested transfers or additional security. Local news reports also documented a rise in customers bringing concealed weapons to the location since the incident, citing fears of further violence. The murder of Jennifer Harris inside a McDonald's restaurant wasn't just a spontaneous act of violence. It exposed critical breakdowns in workplace structure, psychological oversight, and risk management within one of America's most recognizable fast food chains. Multiple co-workers have since come forward to describe tense exchanges and growing agitation between Afeni Muhammad and restaurant management, including Harris. While no formal complaints were filed on record prior to the incident, eyewitnesses allege that Afeni exhibited erratic behavior, mood swings, and verbal outbursts in the weeks leading up to the stabbing. Despite this, there were no documented performance evaluations, referrals to counseling, or escalation protocols followed. Her manager reportedly addressed concerns informally rather than through documented HR procedures. This lack of internal reporting and employee monitoring could be seen as a key contributing factor to what occurred. Fast food labor environments are often fast-paced, high-stress, and under-monitored. Most locations, including the East Point branch, do not offer access to mental health professionals, employee assistance programs, or behavior risk assessments. Managers are not trained to detect psychological distress or threats of violence. There is no mandate requiring fast food franchises to screen for mental health concerns during hiring or employment. In Afeni's case, no mental health evaluation was recorded before or during her tenure. Had there been a standardized process, early warning signs might have been identified and addressed. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, over 500 workplace homicides occurred in 2022 alone, many of them in the retail and food sectors. In the fast food industry, incidents involving disgruntled employees or customers have sharply increased, with several high-profile shootings and stabbings in the last 24 months. Afeni Muhammad's attack is part of this disturbing trend. Experts point to a combination of low wages, high turnover, unstable working conditions, and lack of mental health support as underlying triggers. Despite these statistics, many franchise chains still treat such incidents as isolated rather than symptomatic of broader systemic risks. As a franchise model, liability can be complicated. In this case, McDonald's corporate has issued public condolences, but has not accepted direct responsibility. The East Point location is independently owned, placing legal scrutiny primarily on the local franchisee. However, if it is determined that management failed to act on known behavioral concerns, or that safety protocols were not followed, the company or its franchisee could face civil lawsuits from Harris's family. Legal experts argue that employers have a duty of care to protect workers from foreseeable harm. If Afeni showed prior signs of instability that were ignored, McDonald's could be held accountable. Within hours of the attack, footage of the crime scene, police response, and interviews with witnesses were circulating across TikTok, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook. Cell phone clips taken by customers went viral, showing police tape, blood on the floor, and Afeni's arrest. The video, titled "McDonald's Employee Stabs Manager to Death in Broad Daylight," crossed 1 million views within 48 hours. Hashtags such as hashtag Afeni Muhammad, hashtag Justice for Jennifer, and hashtag East Point Murder trended on social platforms, turning a local crime into a national conversation. Several true crime content creators, bloggers, and TikTok influencers covered the incident in real time. Some posted speculative content, identifying Afeni and Jennifer before official reports were released. While this accelerated awareness, it also introduced factual errors, including false claims about Afeni's criminal history and relationship to the victim. Influencers blurred the line between reporting and entertainment, with many monetizing content based on tragedy. Despite their reach, few verified information through court records or official sources before posting. False claims included that Afeni was romantically involved with Harris, unsubstantiated; that she had been fired before the attack, untrue; that she was on drugs during the stabbing, toxicology results are pending. Fact-checking groups attempted to correct these narratives, but by then, millions had already seen and shared the misinformation. The rapid spread of unverified content remains a challenge in modern crime reporting, especially in high-emotion cases. Legal experts suggest a plea deal is unlikely in a case with extensive physical evidence, witness testimony, and surveillance footage. Prosecutors have charged her with first-degree premeditated murder, indicating they believe the act was planned. However, if the defense introduces a mental health component, plea negotiations could be reintroduced to reduce charges in exchange for psychiatric treatment. As of now, her attorneys have not entered any plea deal discussion on record. If convicted on all charges, Afeni faces life imprisonment without the possibility of parole under Michigan law. Lesser charges like second-degree murder or manslaughter carry decades in prison, but will require proof of lack of intent, something the prosecution is unlikely to concede. Jennifer Harris's family has already submitted initial victim impact statements to court. These will be read aloud at sentencing if Afeni is convicted. Early drafts emphasize Jennifer's role as a mother, mentor, and respected community member. The emotional toll on her family and children is expected to be a pivotal moment in the courtroom. If convicted, Afeni Muhammad may appeal on the grounds of ineffective counsel or mental illness. However, the volume of direct evidence may make appeals difficult to win unless legal errors are identified during trial proceedings. The East Point McDonald's temporarily closed after the incident and underwent internal review. Some employees resigned, citing trauma and poor workplace conditions. Community members have left memorials at the site. It remains uncertain whether the location will fully reopen or be sold to another franchisee. Jennifer is remembered as a strong leader, a mother, and a disciplinarian who believed in hard work. Her family has launched a memorial fund and scholarship in her name to support women seeking management careers in food service. In the aftermath, lawmakers in Michigan introduced proposals to mandate mental health training for fast food managers and annual employee evaluations for behavior-related concerns. Labor advocates are calling for better protections, including panic buttons at service counters, mandatory